Should you always listen to your heart? Has someone ever told you, always listen to your heart first, and your heart is your primary reasoning agent? And so I'm going to tell you why that's a bad idea. And I'll encourage you to replace it with something I refer to as reasoned confidence. And I'm going to show you how you can have confidence that is substantiated, confidence that's reasoned, and the three things you have to check within yourself so that you can have reasoned confidence. Do you watch the show Expanse? Expanse is an amazing show. It's one of my favorites. It's my favorite at this moment. I'm watching it. And there's a scene in the show where this bad guy is a political figure, and he's done a lot of bad things, and he was caught for it. And he sits down with his son, and his parting words, the son didn't know he was going to jail, and his parting words were, "Hey, listen, no matter what happens, always listen to your heart." And I said to myself, what a terrible idea. But here's the thing. A lot of people told you that you should always listen to your heart, especially the movies. Listen to your heart, listen to your heart. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you've experienced it or not, but have you ever made a decision in your life and where for you to check whether or not it's something you should actually do, you had to check in your heart first? And I don't know if you found whether or not that's actually useful. Now, I certainly understand what some people could mean when they say listen to your heart. They could mean, you could mean make sure your heart is in it before you make a decision. Or it could also mean make sure it's not against something that you would love in your life. Or it could mean that don't do things you hate. Or it could also mean that do things you're passionate about. So here's a better system for you to use. Now, you know I'm a fan of systems. And I love system approach when it comes to things. So I'll give you a system so you can develop reasoned confidence. Now, why would you need reasoned confidence? The reason you would need reasoned confidence is because if you ever come to a situation where you have to create the confidence, you have to manufacture the confidence. We call it buoying it up. You know what a buoy is, right? Buoy is that ball in the sea and it's floating. It's called a buoy. Or it doesn't have to be a ball. It could be anything that holds up something. It's a buoy. It's held up by a buoy. So if you buoy your confidence up, you're essentially making up your confidence. It's not substantiated, has no substance. You understand? There's nothing behind it, nothing actually creating the confidence. The only true confidence, I like to say, you've heard me say this before, is confidence that's from experience. Any confidence without experience is arrogance. You can't have confidence without experience. You can read all the books about bike riding all you want, but if you've never ridden a bike, the best you can do is have self-estimation. You can't have confidence. When you ride the bike, then you'll know where your confidence lies. So any confidence that you have to make up, it's unsubstantiated. So let me show you how you can have substantiated confidence. You ready? So how you can have substantial confidence is you have to check three things in yourself. Three things. They have to check in yourself so that you can achieve reasoned confidence or substantiated confidence. Confidence that has substance, that is substantiated. Instead of checking your heart, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. The first thing you have to check is your logic. Is it logically sound to you? Does it logically make sense? Logic is the equation. If this, then this, then this, and this. If you follow it down, the logical equation, the logical reasoning that you have in your mind, logic is devoid of emotion. Do you understand? And actually, emotion comes from thoughts. So your emotion will always align. it will eventually align with your thoughts based on how concrete you are with your thoughts. But that aside, logic is complete logical thinking, is thought without emotion. It's a calculative maneuver based on your thoughts. So if I do this, what will turn out? What will happen? What will be the result? What would be the result of that happening? So that is logic. The other thing you have to check is your conscience. Your conscience is the voice in your head that's telling you whether it's right or wrong. It's your ethical code and your moral code. Ethics being what you enter into when you enter a group, and moral codes being what you're born into. So, and then you recreate your moral codes. Your moral codes is essentially what you consider is right, the good, or wrong, which is the bad, which is good or bad, which is right or wrong. So you check for yourself, does this align, is what I'm doing, does it align with what I think is good or bad? If it's good, do it. If it's bad, then you really have to think about, would you ever do something you wouldn't consider doing? And here's my advice for you in terms of morality. Never do anything you wouldn't do. It's not worth it, and you'll regret it. It's an amazing explanation. It's an amazing mantra if you've ever want to consider what it is you want to do. The third thing you want to check is your emotion. Do you feel good about it? Now I like to say that emotion comes from thoughts. So inevitably, your emotion should align with your thoughts. It's a result and a byproduct of your thoughts. But there are some times, and it's from your limbic system, your human evolutionary thinking, that gives you something called your gut feeling. And there are some things which you can't explain through logic that you don't feel good about. There's just something off. And these come from, for example, if you're dealing with an individual and your perceptions feel something off about the person which you can't recognize logically. You can't make out what it is that's putting you off about this person, but there's something about that person. It could be your evolutionary, your limbic system telling you there's something not trustworthy about this person. So check that, check how you feel about things, check your gut instinct, they call it, your gut feeling, and see if it aligns with you. Now, if you've got those three things, number one, logic. Number one, it's logically sound. It makes good sense logically, not emotionally, not with the heart. It makes good sense. It's smart to do. It's not stupid to do. Understand? Number two is you check your conscience, you check your moral codes. Is it something I would never do, or is it something that I would do? It's within the things I would do. It's morally, ethically sound. It's good. Number three is emotion. Is there something that's putting me off about this thing or person that's making me not want to deal with it? If there is, check what it is. And if you can't reason out, but there's just something off about this thing, don't do it. Now, if you've got those three things aligned, it's logically sound, it's good, and you feel good about it, do it. Whether or not what other people are saying about it. What other people say about it are their opinions. Very seldom things are actually facts. You really have to catch that. Very seldom things are actually facts. I'll revisit that in a different video. But it's their opinion. Listen to it, take it into account, but consider, check within yourself, is it logically sound? Is it ethically, morally sound? And do I feel good about it? If all those three things are in check, are good, you now have something called reasoned confidence. You've reasoned it out for yourself. And then now you can have confidence going into any situation. You have confidence going into any situation, and you're radiating this confidence. And this confidence is not empty confidence, it's not buoyed confidence, it's not aggrandized confidence, it's not made up. It's reasoned confidence. If you want to know more about psychology and how we behave as humans and communication and relationships, go to www.greatrelationshipsyou.com. Bye.